In the early 1990s, when the Soviet Union had just fallen, a British family moved from the UK to Budapest, Hungary. They bought a big old mansion on the outskirts of the city. 4 bedrooms, wide yards, tall gates. It looked beautiful. They thought they'd found a great deal, but they didn't know why that house had stayed unsold for years. At first, life was happy. The children, a young boy, around 6, and his sisters, loved their new home. They went to an international school and spent evenings playing in the garden until sunset. Weeks went by peacefully, until one night. The boy shared his room with his sister upstairs. Usually, they'd talk until they fell asleep, but that night they were exhausted and drifted off quickly. Sometime past midnight, the boy woke up, thirsty. He turned toward his sister's bed across the room. He saw her sitting upright, perfectly still. Before he could call her name, she slammed herself back down onto the bed, hard. He froze. Then she did it again, and again, sitting up, slamming down, the bed creaking louder each time. He wanted to scream, but fear locked his throat. Then she stopped. She sat motionless. Slowly, her head turned toward him. He shut his eyes tight, trembling under his blanket. When he dared to open them again, she was still there, facing him. Her face was pitch black, featureless. Panicking, he jumped from his bed and ran to her side. But the shadow was gone. His sister was lying down peacefully, fast asleep. He woke her, crying and shaking, but she just frowned and told him he must have been dreaming. He stayed awake the whole night, staring at her bed. Nothing else happened. Still, from that night onward, the house never felt the same. The boy tried to forget, but an uneasy feeling lingered, like the air inside the house had grown heavy. Then one morning, his mother's scream shattered the silence. She had walked out of her bedroom to find her son hanging upside down from the stair railing on the second floor, like a bat. Before he could fall, his father rushed out and caught his legs. He had no memory of how he got there. Doctors called it sleepwalking, said it was caused by stress or nightmares. They banned him from watching scary movies, but it didn't help. Almost every few nights, his parents would find him in dangerous places, hanging upside down from a chair, a window frame, or even the same staircase. It didn't feel like sleepwalking anymore. The parents, deeply religious, decided to call a priest. He arrived one afternoon with a cross and a small bag of holy items. He asked everyone to stay out of the children's room while he prayed. For almost an hour, muffled prayers echoed through the closed door. Then he came out, looking uneasy. He walked slowly around the house, muttering something in Latin. When he reached the living room, he stopped. He looked upward, staring at the ceiling right below the children's bedroom. His face went pale. He turned to the parents and whispered something softly. They didn't repeat what he said, but their expressions said enough. That night, the family left the house and checked into a hotel. The next morning, workers were brought in to tear down the ceiling below the children's room. Behind the old wood and plaster, they found a small hidden trapdoor, a secret compartment built inside the ceiling. When they opened it, the smell of rot drifted out. Inside was a small cloth bag filled with animal bones, and hanging beside it was a tiny doll made of those same bones, suspended upside down by a thread. That was enough. The family packed up, sold the house immediately, and left Budapest within the year. Years later, the boy, now grown, still remembers that house vividly. His parents became more devout than ever, their faith stronger after what they had seen. But for him, churches began to feel unsettling. He never stopped believing in God, but he also couldn't forget that night. when something dark sat on his sister's bed and turned its head toward him. He's sure now. There are things in this world that don't belong to us,